Alright, purpose of this video is to build a first-time home buyer or a real estate capture form and then to follow up based upon the answers. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a survey real quick. So we're going to click Sites on the left side. We're going to go to Surveys. We're going to go to Builder. We're going to hit Create New Survey. And we're just going to fly through this real quick. We're going to make a couple custom fields. I'm going to click right here in the middle to toggle off. We're going to collect the normal info here, I think that we would from anybody. And then let's do this. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. It's always interesting. So click Styles and then undo agency branding. That's going to make that disappear from your survey if you want it to be gone. Let's go back to fields. Let's just make a custom field here because we're going to automate this just based upon one response. Custom fields, add custom fields. Let's go multiple options. Are you a first-time home buyer? Yes. Yes or no. And then let's put our options in here. Save. Let's make another one. Do you currently own a home you need to sell? Let's just go yes or no. Save. And then let's go text. We could go numerical for this because we're going to ask them what the purchase price is, but you know, we could do a range if we wanted to trigger automation off of it. We're not going to really do that. We just want to know how much they want to buy for. So what is the purchase range you're looking in now? Please enter dollar amount. And this is just to get a little bit more information. If we were building a form, we would want to know. We might even also want to say add custom field. We could do multiple options, or we could just do single text here. But we could say how many bedrooms are you looking for? Please select. Then we can go 1, add option, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll go 5. And we'll just go 5. Let's just go 4 plus. You know, we don't need to sit here and give options for everything. Same with bathrooms. How many bedrooms are you looking for? Let's add another custom fields. Maybe. Select. So we go 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5. Let's just say 3.5 plus. Again, we don't have to sit here and give options for everything. And you could really build this as detailed as you'd like. Let's throw one more in here just for fun. Oop, that was integrate survey. So add custom field. How soon do you need to move? Please select. ASAP. Urgent. You get the idea there. Say 60 to 90 days. Just looking. So this could be something that we could use the just looking indicator as somebody that is a tire kicker who is just wasting your time. They filled out your form and now they indicate that they have no urgency. So one last thing that we're going to do real quick is we're going to make all of these a required field. So let's just go through here. We're not asking anybody to fill out this form because we don't want the answers. You know, if they can't give the answers to this form, maybe they're not a lead, right? So let's go through here. Looks like I missed that one. Required, required, required. Let's go ahead and name this survey home buyer survey. Pretty easy. We're not going to trigger any automation based on them submitting it yet. We could easily change on submit over to a URL, and you could put your calendar here, like your booking calendar. That would kind of be a nice little natural automated flow there that would just kind of happen naturally if they filled this out. So now we've got our survey. We've made them all required fields. Let's automate this. Let's assume that you got this to somebody and they filled it out, so you embedded this into maybe a website. You pushed some traffic here from Facebook. Now we're going to go to funnels. Actually, we're not going to go to funnels. We're going to go to automation. My apologies. And let's make another workflow. Let's make one from scratch. And let's name this new home buyer survey completed. That way we know what this is. We're going to click this button here. This is going to be what determines the automation or how it happens. We're going to go survey submitted, and then we're going to tell it what survey. Now we've got more than one survey in here, so this is going to be home buyer survey. This is just good business up here to put all this in. That way you know when you come back and look at this a week later, a month later, you're not driving yourself crazy having to click on each one of these steps. This is where it could be helpful too to have two screens, because believe it or not, life is happening quickly here. You've already forgot maybe some of the fields that you put in on the survey. I am going over to my second screen right now. I'm going to pull this open on the second page here. That way I can pull those fields up that we just completed. I know that sounds a little crazy, but if you don't have 2 or 3 screens, you're probably missing out. So bear with me 1 second here. We're going to pull this up on the second screen here. That way I can pull the fields that I just created. And this is pretty normal when you're making automations on the fly. You're just inventing fields. Unless you're writing that down and being really vigorous with it, it's going to be hard to keep track of that stuff. So in 1 second here, I opened the wrong survey. Alright, here we go. So we've got our real estate survey. We had a couple yes-no questions. We called it the home buyer survey. And what we want to do is we want to automate probably off, are they a first-time home buyer? Because we know if they're a first-time home buyer, they don't probably have a house that we need to sell. So let's go over here and let's do an if-else. Let's start here for contact details. These are now contact details. Then are you a first-time home buyer? And that includes yes. So yes, over here. So if they're a first-time home buyer, we're going to shoot them maybe a different type of automation. Plus what we're going to do is we're going to actually maybe add them to a different pipeline as well. So this might be an opportunity. Let me save this automation real quick in here. Let's go back and make a pipeline real quick. That way we can push this data to maybe 2 different pipelines based upon maybe first-time home buyer and not first-time home buyer. So this could be pretty fun. So I went to settings in my system. I'm going to pipelines. I'm just going to make a new pipeline called first-time home buyer. New lead. We're going to figure out what to do with these leads later. Not first time. New lead. Has house to sell. So let's check out how we're going to use this pipeline too. So now let's go back to our automation. We're going to say new home buyer survey completed. So if they're a first-time home buyer, let's do this now. Let's add them to the pipeline that we just made over there. That way we can track these folks. So we're going to go add opportunity. Let's just type up here add. That way it's going to quickly boil it down for us real quick. I don't know why I'm not finding it. Here we go. Create update opportunity. That's what we're looking for. In pipeline, let's go first-time home buyer. Let's go new lead. Let's go select status open. Now, we don't have any value or anything. We don't necessarily have a source. If we had a source, we could populate it here. So maybe if these were coming in from a certain source, we might call these Facebook leads or something like that. So see, create opportunity and first time home buyer pipeline. Bing. Create op. So it doesn't let you get too carried away with the name. That way you're not cluttering the workspace. And again, I'm occasionally saving up here in the top right, if you can see my button up there. So this is a first-time home buyer. We know they don't have a house for us to sell. We're going to put them in that stage. Let's say that they're not a first-time home buyer. Let's come over here and quickly determine, does this person have a house for us to sell? So we're going to go contact reply or contact details. My apologies. This one is going to be, we know that they're not a first-time home buyer. Now we're going to find out, do you have a house for us to sell? Includes yes. Do they have a house for us to sell? Cool. Nice. So again, let's save up here. So this is somebody that's come through. They're not a first-time home buyer, and they said yes that they have a house for us to sell. So pretty cool. So let's just use this as an opportunity to put both of these leads in the pipeline. So select pipeline, not first-time home buyer, has house to sell, status open. Create opportunity. Remember, we're going to call this create op in not first time home buyer pipe as house. It's probably not going to let me do that. Yep, 56. Not first time home buyer as house. I'm going to save that too. There we go. And this is going to be a not first-time home buyer. No existing house. So we're going to put this one in pipeline, not first-time home buyer, and then this one's just going to be a new lead, and then we're going to select status, open, save, lead value. Oh, looks like it caught me up here. No existing house. Let's just get rid of that. Save, save. So this is cool. We've got them getting sorted to different pipelines based upon what's happening right now. Now we might want to trigger a different type of automation, maybe to you, the agent. This one looks pretty juicy. Not a first-time home buyer, and they have a possible house for us to sell. We could also look at what their urgency level is then too. So let's go over and let's just go left to right. So this is a first-time home buyer. Let's come over here and let's sniff around at the urgency that we created in this person's life. So if you remember, let's go contact details. One of our fields is, how soon do you need to move? So let's say includes ASAP. Needs to move ASAP. So needs to move ASAP. Let's send an internal message now. I'm going to click up here to hit send. Then notice that it reduced the list here. Send a text. Let's send that to a custom number. And then I'm just putting in the number for time and temp here. Feel free to call that number if you want to know the time and temp. And then this is going to be a message that we're going to use to send possibly to say the agent or maybe even yourself if this is a reminder. So hot lead alert, right? This is a hot lead to me. They need to move now. Contact full name, contact phone, contact email. Needs to move in hot. So here we go, internal notification to agent, hot lead, save. So notice these names are really kind of helping our workflow make sense as we continue to come along. So we could determine, if this was no, and here's another way for us to kind of maybe upgrade this. Instead of just ASAP urgently, 60 to 90 days is still pretty quick. So then if they say yes to this, it's going to go down the left decision tree. And then if they say no, it's going to go down the right decision tree. So here's what we could do. Anybody that's showing up that indicates they need to move anytime between now and the next 6 months, we could indicate as a hot lead. Anybody that's just looking right now, we definitely would not have to send to the agent. We could send this person maybe access to the MLS or maybe put them on some sort of drip. We could even institute some other follow-up to send them a survey to maybe get a little bit more information about where they want to buy. And then we could try to use that information to maybe set them up on an MLS drip. Tons of different automations that we can do. Really, we can kind of go anywhere down these trees, and we can build almost anything. We can send text to them. We can send emails. We can ask them more questions. Tons of stuff we can do here. Trying to keep the video right at 15 minutes, though. This is basically how to automate a real estate home buyer form and starting to take the next steps with automation.